Hamilton. Dave started working for the YMCA on his first day of grade 10 when he was 15 years old. Besides one day of industrial flat top roofing, he has never really worked anywhere else. He has worked for 4 different YMCAs across the province, including the YMCA of Southwestern Ontario, the YMCA of Greater Toronto, and the YMCA of Hamilton, Burlington, and Brampton. He moved to Barrie in 2007, excuse me, when he joined the YMCA Camp Kitchikawana full-time camping staff team. He has been the team leader of the YMCA of Simcoe Muskoka's Immigration Services Department for 4.5 years. Prior to joining the Immigration and Services team, he was a part of the YMCA's Youth Services team for 8 years. I'd like to introduce our speaker today, Dave Hamilton.
Am I good here?
You can have the floor if you want it.
Come on, all right. So thank you very much for having me this morning. I really do appreciate your time. I was just invited to kind of share some information about the YMCA of Simcoe Muskoka's Immigrant Services Department and some of the work we've been doing over the last few years. So as mentioned kind of in that very generous introduction, I've been with this YMCA since 2007 and part of the Immigrant Services team for about 5 years now. So we kind of can break our services down into kind of 3.5 separate categories. For a very long time, kind of the meat and potatoes of our program was our LINK classes, or our language instruction for newcomers. So it's an ESL program. We have 55 seats, so we're engaging with 55 new immigrants every day. Through COVID, like everything else, we had to shift, and so we kind of tried every combination of in-person, online, hybrid, kind of everything back and forth. We are looking forward to, in September, kind of getting back into kind of a more normal in-person format. But then also realizing that through COVID, everything has changed, and so there are some benefits to having an online portion for students who, for whatever reason, aren't able to attend in person. So we'll be continuing with that. Our language classes run kind of from very basic beginner English, helping people who are illiterate in their first language learn to read and write and speak in English. And they bring us all the way to kind of level 6 or 7, which would be a fluent conversation where there was very little kind of miscommunication or anything like that. Our goal always definitely is to help students get as far as they want to go, but to get to that level 4, which is kind of the midway point, and that's the requirement to become a Canadian citizen. So if you're coming in from another country and you want to become a Canadian citizen, you have to take a language exam, and that's kind of at the level 4. So we're always really excited when we see our students kind of meet that milestone and know that they're kind of on that path. Kind of in partnership and in tandem with that program, we have a Care for Newcomer Children program. So if you're registered in our language classes and you have a child who's 6 months to 6 years, you can bring them with you. And while you're in your English classes, we're running child care based programs based kind of both on our YMCA child care philosophy, but then as well kind of through guidelines that come from our funders. You know, that's great. We have 18 kids, so that's always kind of a nice break when things get a little bit stressful in the office, to just go in and find the kids and kind of have that stress relief. It's great. Our goal, although we do have programs and funding to run to help to provide support and care for children up to 6 years, it is our goal as well that if they're coming to us at a young age, that by the time they get to be 4, they're ready to go to kindergarten. Some children come to us for the first time, they've just immigrated at an older age, they may be 4 or 5, so we'll spend some time kind of helping them, you know, get used to living in a new country. Helping them through their first winter is always the most fun, and then seeing them go off to school is always a great sense of pride. We also run settlement services. So that's kind of the second tier. So we have 3 settlement counselors who provide ongoing support to newcomers across the county. We're actually here today on Wednesdays. We have one of our staff members comes and sets up shop here in Innisfil. We provide services in Midland, Aurelia, Collingwood, Saga Beach as well. I should mention our home base is at the Bayfield Mall in Barrie, so we kind of have a wide variety of space there as well. So our 3 settlement counselors can kind of help from everything from applying for a permanent residency card to kind of helping, navigate a new country, finding a doctor, getting registered in school, finding housing. It's just kind of everyday things that we don't really think of, kind of helping support through that. We also get those fun stories of, somebody's gone on a cruise and they've fallen in love and they want to bring somebody here so they can set their lives up together, and we set that up as well. Sometimes we went on a cruise, we fell in love, he came here, and now I want him to go back, and we have to deal with that sometimes as well, but thankfully not. Obviously, over the last little while, a major focus of our settlement counselors have been Ukrainian nationals who are relocating to Canada. I feel extremely fortunate that one of our settlement counselors, just by coincidence, is Ukrainian, speaks fluent Russian and Ukrainian. So we are very much sought out. People are coming because they know Jan is there and can provide support. We're kind of doing our best to keep a tally of how many Ukrainian nationals we're providing support to on a weekly basis, and it is kind of somewhere between the 15 and 20 mark of individuals every week coming for support, and about 30 to 40% of those are new each month. So, there's a client coming back with continued support, but then we're seeing probably 5 to 6 new people coming for support from Ukraine on a weekly basis. Our newest program is our Settlement Workers at School program. It's something that we're really excited about. It's a program that we're running in partnership with both the Simcoe Muskoka School Board and the Simcoe County the Simcoe County District School Board and the Simcoe Muskoka Catholic District School. And it is, so we're running this program in partnership with it. We have 4 Swiss workers who are engaging with families and students who are new to the education system in Canada. So we're doing everything from, being at the Welcome to Kindergarten presentations that the schools are putting on, the grade 9 orientations when a student moves from being in the 8th grade to the 9th grade and helping them with that transition. Which, to think back to when you were in high school, that was a big step, but it's an even bigger step when you don't necessarily speak the language or you've only been in the country for a couple of years and things like that. We've done, and when I say we, I really mean the Swiss team, and it's not me at all, have done a fantastic job of setting up programs to build that community. That program is across the county. So over the last couple of weeks, as school wrapped up, they held celebration picnics for families in Bradford, in Alliston, in Barrie. And it's great just to see these communities coming together and feeling supported with each other, but as well feeling kind of welcomed in our community as well. One of the great things that program is setting up as well through the summer, they're continuing to run programs so that there's lots of connections so that people aren't feeling isolated, because now they don't have the outlet of going to school, but they're still finding ways to connect. So we have a youth group that's running in Barrie. One of our staff members has set up a small group for female identifying Spanish-speaking students so that they can come together and kind of find that support. And to see them meet at our family picnic for the first time, they met in person like everybody else coming out of COVID. And that kind of 3 or 4 minutes of awkwardness, but then seeing that kind of barrier come down and watching that connection happen is great. It's really the goal of that program to support students as they kind of make their way through the education system, but also as well encourage them to kind of look outside the classroom and become contributing members of their school communities, joining clubs, joining sports teams, getting on student councils, and similarly with the parents of those students, helping them feel connected to the school community, helping them feel like they have a resource that they can reach out to when a little bit of extra support is needed, encouraging them to get on school councils, to volunteer for field trips and things like that. And so building that sense of community and connection to the school is really the goal of that program. It started in January of 2022. And it's been difficult kind of coming out of COVID to get that up and going, as we weren't allowed in schools and there was all these barriers of meeting in person. But really to watch that program flourish has been amazing. We also offer citizenship classes. So if you are ready and you've started to think about becoming a Canadian citizen, the exam is quite daunting. We'll pass questions around the office. The Canadian-born staff have a very hard time coming up with the answers. It's not an easy exam at all. So we have kind of started this course to help prepare, help study for that exam, so that when our clients are ready to take it, they feel like they're confident and prepared to pass that course. Working with the Simcoe County Local Immigration Partnership, it really is our goal and our hope that within the next year and a half or so, we'll be able to have a citizenship ceremony here in Simcoe County. Now, if you write the citizenship test, if you pass it, you're ready to become a Canadian citizen. In order to be sworn in, of course, you have to go to Toronto to do that. So we would really very much like to see that. We also run International Student Connect programs, and that's kind of presentations and workshops that we present to students about kind of pathways to citizenship, as well as different information that they'll need as students living in Ontario. We also run orientation to Ontario seminars and workshops, which are just kind of filled with fun information. Yana really likes to do those as well. It's, things like what to do in Ontario in the summer, how to prepare for winter, tax information, just any kind of workshop that she'll hear kind of through her clients that she's working with, kind of things that they're looking for more information on. The not so exciting part is how we're funded. So we are fully funded by kind of two sources. We're funded by the Ministry of Immigrant and Refugee Citizenship Canada, or IRCC. They're kind of our main source of funding. They fund our language programs, our Swiss program, and some of our settlement. We're also funded by the province for a small portion of our settlement, as well as those two orientation to Ontario and international student programs. So that's kind of a rundown of the programs. Are there any questions?
Yeah, thank you for your presentation, Dave. I was wondering, do you coordinate with the libraries in Simcoe County to ensure that there are books available in the languages of the people that are using your services?
That's something that we haven't gotten into. That's not something that's kind of we're doing on our end. We have started working closely with libraries. As I said, we're here on Wednesdays. We're at the Barrie Library on Thursdays. We're at the Aurelia Library on Tuesdays. So I do know that kind of looking at building those communities and kind of helping people feel connected, being in the library is a really important part of that. And I do know that as libraries build out their collections, they are looking at kind of including a wider variety of languages.
Thank you. And just one other comment, as an immigrant to Canada, I do know that the citizenship test is a very difficult test. And I always feel that I know more than most Canadian-born Canadians after you've taken that test, because it is quite a difficult process to go through.
The first time that I kind of saw it and I was walking around with it in the office, I couldn't believe the amount of people, Canadian-born staff, who couldn't name the capitals of everybody. Blew my mind. And then I went home to my wife and I said, "Can you believe that these people can't name the capitals?" And she was like, yeah, it's a difficult test for sure.
Dave, just for an aside, we held citizenship court in Hemsville previously.
Yeah.
So it has happened.
Court is one thing, swearing in ceremony is. Oh, they did one here?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
About 8 or 10 years
Oh,
ago.
so that is.
So Dave, first of all, I'm amazed to hear what you do. I had no idea. I had no idea at all about all of this. But I know the government in the last, since the war in Ukraine, but also other places in the world where it's terrible for people, more and more people want to come to Canada. I think Canada is probably one of the #1 destinations in the world for immigrants. And the war in Ukraine certainly has upped that. But the government, although I seem to recall something like 30,000, but it's not happening very quickly. Are you finding you're getting more and more? Is there more and more of an influx?
I would say, like, from Ukraine and Ukrainian nationals coming in, it's we had a while after the announcement was made to get and since they've started welcoming Ukrainian nationals, I would say it's a steady flow. It's not necessarily like it is both a lot, because as I said, it's about kind of 5 to 10 new clients every week. But it's a steady flow.
And the one thing I noticed, they were making it, or the government wants to, I'm not sure it's happening. They want to have it so that Ukrainians can come to Canada and be here for 2 or 3 years, and then maybe return to the Ukraine. That gets kind of technical, doesn't it?
Yeah, and so we just follow that direction. Like, that's right now we know that they're coming. We're here to support them when they get here to provide any services that we can.
Now, do you have enough staff? Do you have enough people? Is there a backlog of people waiting to talk to you?
So I, as a manager, am extremely fortunate that I have a staff that is so dedicated. We serve close to, between both settlement programs, close to 1,500 people a year. And we would say that the average wait time to see one of our settlement counselors would be anywhere from 2 hours to a day and a half. We are able, just the dedication of my staff to kind of be able to help people kind of come through is really amazing. They're an unbelievable group of people who are there. Could I use more staff? For sure. There's always proposals being put forth to say this is what we can do, this is what we would like to do. But with what we have right now, I'm extremely fortunate to be part of such a great team
Well, as I said, I had no idea that this was going on. I really did.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely wonderful to hear.
Yeah,
You must get a lot of satisfaction out of what you do.
it's great to kind of watch the progression and watch kind of people who come maybe early on for some settlement support and then get in a language class or vice versa. And watch, we have one family who came during the Syrian conflict, came to very kind of through a supported group. They enrolled in our language classes. They're a family with a mom and dad and 6 kids, who the parents were in our language classes, the kids were in our childcare program. They've become Canadian citizens. They're running a successful catering business. They've really kind of become members of the community and really made Simcoe County very to their home. And to kind of see that and know that you had a little part of that does feel pretty.
So just a quick story. So on my street, we have a new family, and they're from the Middle East, obviously just coming into Canada. And they go from a little girl this height to a boy like this, and the 4 of them walk past my house every day to get the school bus and every day home. And the first few times they walked past the house, I saw them. I said, "Hi, how are you doing?" And they were like this. Now they walk past the house and they're looking for me. And when they see me, they go, "Hi, hi." So it doesn't take long for them to feel comfortable.
Yeah, that's always the goal.
Yeah.
Feel at home.
So obviously during COVID, immigration really dropped off, especially at the start of COVID. I'm assuming it's almost back, or coming back strong.
Yeah.
Where do you see it in the next 5 years, and how can you support that?
Yeah, so I mean, we just are continuing, hopeful that it will continue to grow. We definitely see the diversity within our community strengthens our communities, makes them stronger, makes them more inclusive, makes them better. And so we hope that the numbers of immigrants choosing to come to Simcoe County continues to grow. I think it is at levels that people don't even realize. I mean, I know I did before I joined, that there are strong ethnic communities kind of throughout the county. And we're hoping that it continues to grow and hoping that we're there to be able to provide services and support. And we'll really take anything that they'll want us to do. Sure. Great. Well, thank you again so much for this invitation and for your time this morning and for the work that you do in our community. I played in a Rotary golf tournament last year. I'm still a little bit better. I think in a second, and I'm not sure if there was like a 12-year-old.
Dave, come sit down, it'll be fine.
I don't know. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your meeting. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Thank you very much.